But I think what we minimize is that children need stability.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you don't if you bouncing from here to there, and a child doesn't have stability and doesn't feel safe, then that creates trust issues. Mm-hmm. That creates stability in their life to where they think, hey, it's time to move on. It's time to jet. I've been here too long.
Yeah.
You know?
Welcome to another episode of Just My Baby Daddy Podcast. It's your boy AJ.
The bougie baby daddy Eli.
And today we have our most seasoned guest.
Ooh.
We've had people with, a lot of kids or everything.
You called it old.
I ain't called a man old.
Yeah, he did.
I
Because I ain't salt. You know what I'm saying? I ain't salt. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna let it
I ain't
go.
obese. So if I ain't salt or obese, I'm old. But that's good.
Hey, man, no, we gonna call you old.
Season.
Brother
You got
said
the most-
Caesars.
you got the most
I ain't salt.
Oh, that
That's
ain't
my-
any better.
It's salt. Salt and light. We good. Praise God.
Yeah, praise him that
Praise
you still
him.
here.
Praise
Come on,
him.
let's go ahead and do it. Go ahead. Come on.
Praise.
Go ahead.
I'm
Introduce
good.
yourself to the people.
I'm good.
Come on. Spell your name. Introduce yourself to the people.
Reginald Roire, Raleigh, North Carolina. That's it. Nothing special, nothing weird.
Just that you old.
I'm old. Salt and light, baby. Salt and light.
Nah, no seriousness, man. Thanks for sitting down with us.
No problem.
Don't pay AJ any attention because
AJ is cool.
He ain't got much home
AJ
time.
Oh,
Scratch.
come on.
Yeah, I'm the more mature one over here.
Okay.
Hey,
So you pepper.
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
They doing that's the 80s reference. So I might have to agree with the seasoning now. Salt and pepper. We ain't going.
I'm good.
Nah,
Man, we're going to get this done so we can cut a little rug when we get up out of here.
color rug.
So we're going to start you off, though, the same way we start off everybody. What does it mean to you to be a father?
Man, that's with me because I had 2 kids out of wedlock, got married and had 2 kids in wedlock. It's kind of hard to quantify that on one spectrum. So I would say my most proud moment as a father is going back to get my illegitimate kids. Is the fact that when I got myself right, I didn't leave them behind. And I went back and I brought them up with me. So that's what I think about as being a father, when you sacrifice yourself to make sure that your offspring will have a better life.
Okay, you said you had 2 children prior to your marriage.
I had a kid at 14 and I had a kid at 17.
14.
Wow. 14.
So how was that? Being a kid yourself, just trying to raise
You know
a
what,
child.
man? You don't. It was crazy because there was some. I was a deadbeat dad. Then some things happened with her mom, and I had to take custody of the child. So at the age, my daughter was probably 4 when I got full custody of her, and I had no clue, man. I had no clue. I was still slinging dope. I had no clue. I was paying women to do their hair and trying to do the best I could. But it was a struggle. It was a struggle. But it changed me because I saw how I affected her. One of the most pivotal points in my life, my daughter had to be 5 or 6. She's pouring cornflakes in the bowl. It wasn't enough cornflakes, and she said, damn.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
My 5-year-old little girl said, damn. That's the truth. Wasn't enough cornflakes. But where did she get that from?
Yeah. Daddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And now she has a master. She has her own counseling business. So she's doing great.
Wow. So let me ask you a question that I've never been able to ask anybody. When you were saying you were a deadbeat in the beginning,
Yes.
why?
Man, because first of all, I didn't know no better. My father was never in my life. You see what I'm saying? My mother had, matter of fact, my mother had my brother at 14 and me at 18.
Oh, wow.
So I continued on the cycle, but I never had my dad in my life. My grandfather and my uncle, you know, when I moved to New York, I moved in with my uncle. They were the pivotal men in my life. So I had no clue. I had no clue. And that's what most brothers are. We can make them.
Yeah.
But it's the taking care of them and being responsible. That's the manly part of it. The manly part ain't laying down and making them. The manly part is taking care of them. So I had no clue. It was only after I came to Christ and saw the effects of what was going on in my life, and then was able to look back and see what I was doing to them.
Right. So did you find Christ before you had full custody of her?
No. Oh, God, no.
Okay.
I was still, no. Oh, God, no. Because then there's another thing
Because
that's funny,
I
right?
was just
She like to kill me. You know what I'm saying? True story. I'm getting my life together. I take her over my brother's house so I can go take the Army test. My brother's daughter ends up having chicken pox. He gives it to my daughter. My daughter gives it to me. I'm 20-something years old, ain't never had chicken pox. Man, I had to go in the hospital. And that took me out, man.
Yeah, from
you know what I'm saying? From chicken pox, dude.
Yeah,
I had it rough. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was a whole process with her. Then, like I said, she ended up going back with her mother. And then that one, my oldest daughter, I ended up not seeing her for 6 years. After I got married, her mother moved and we had no contact. Although we tried to have contact, we didn't have any contact.
Wow.
So how is that dynamic when you're in were they in different states or?
I had moved back to North Carolina.
You moved back,
Yeah,
right.
I had moved back.
So your daughter was in New York?
My daughter was in North Carolina.
In North Carolina?
Yes.
Okay. So the dynamic when you're not being able to see her, what does that do to you mentally? Or was it, when you said you were a deadbeat, it's circumstances behind that, right?
Well,
So-
when I got back down here, I wasn't deadbeat. I was
Right.
paying child support, which was funny. I saw her when I won't giving up money, but when I was giving up money, I didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? That's the tripping part. And I had got married, but it's funny. When you want to see your child, every little black girl looks like your child.
Wow. 'Cause that's hitting on the inside.
Yeah, I remember that specifically, man. You know how you driving downtown Raleigh, sometimes you see the buses of kids
Yep.
going to the museums or something. I will always look.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, every little black girl looked like my child. And then I had another one.
So mentally, how did you handle that though?
I
'Cause I had the same type of
with-
thing when I was away from my children. I was in North Carolina. They was in Maryland. I was only gone for 18 months. But I say I was in like a sunken place. That 18 months, I was going crazy because I missed my children. And so to be there and then all of a sudden be gone, how did that weigh on you?
Well, okay. The middle one, I didn't know was mine until she was 11. You see what I'm saying? I thought her mama said no. I went back to New York. Her mother, actually, another thing that's weird, ended up getting HIV and dying. And the dude took the blood test, found out it wasn't his. They came for me. So that's how I found out about her. You know what I'm saying? But with that was the most difficult relationship to rectify.
Wow.
The oldest one was a little easier because when I had her, we developed the relationship.
Yeah.
Whereas the middle one, we never really had that relationship, so it was harder to rectify.
So at first, because your timeline is bugged out.
Yeah.
Like bugged out. So it's so many different layers to.
Let's
your
roll
story.
with it.
So let's go back to your first child.
All right.
All right. The start was rocky. Then you transitioned to having her.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even down to the cereal story, what had to change in you initially that you actually started becoming effective as a father with her?
Man, to be honest with you, I don't know if I've ever became effective as a father in my point of view. I think with me, what I had to do was one, and it's a long road. First thing I had to do is I had to forgive my father and my mother. Because I was a bitter dude, man. I was just bitter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So in walking through my bitterness, that allowed me to go back to her and ask for forgiveness, you know, and that helped our relationship because you know how we reconnected when she moved and we didn't see her and we tried to track her down. I'm laying on my couch. It's probably 11:30 at night. Phone rings. Hey, Daddy, I don't live with Mama no more. I'm in college. Next day, she drove up to see me. But she remembered me from the time before. So them 6 years that we didn't roll wasn't that bad because she still remembered her dad. You know what I'm saying?
So did you not see her because you weren't allowed to see her, or how did that work for you?
Be careful who you have kids with because you will always have kids with that person.
Yes, you will.
Let's just say it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You be careful of your baby mama because she will always be your baby mama.
Yes.
I don't care if she 12 or 50. Be careful of who you have babies with because they will always be your baby mama. So we're going to leave it at that because even that relationship is being mended. But be careful.
Yeah.
Oh,
They don't stop being your baby mama when they turn 18. They always your baby mama.
oh man, that is funny.
That's the truth.
Yeah, because we talk about it all the time.
All
It's
the
like,
time.
yo, know who you lay down with.
Yo, dude, listen. Because you might change. I changed. Now, both of my older daughters' mamas were ride or die. But I ain't ride or die. I stopped being ride or die.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
So you grew.
I matured. Yes.
Yeah.
I matured.
Gotcha.
You know. Now, if it came down to a fight, yeah, I'll take them over both of y'all.
I ain't gonna hit no woman out here.
You gonna have to, or you gonna take it.
Hey, that's borderline disrespectful.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you the truth.
Hey, now you our guest, but hey,
I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah, see,
If it came down to it, and I had to roll up on something to go get them, yeah,
that is funny.
they will ride or die. I mean, God, rest their soul. But.
So I have a question. So how did your wife help you start to mend that relationship?
Man, let me tell you something. When I tell you that I got a wife that I don't deserve, when I tell you I got a wife that I'm a good recruiter. I'm like, what's your boy in Alabama? I'm a good recruiter. I'm the Nick Saban.
Yeah,
Deion. I'm
right
Deion.
now.
I'm Nick Saban. I'm a great recruiter. I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's the way it was, man. Now, because my growth, I was saved before I met my wife, but my true growth came in my marriage because I had to face some things inside myself. Ooh. And see, that was part of the issue. When I knew I couldn't be single, but what I said was, I had some mandatory minimums or with my woman. I had to ride or die. But when I became in Christ, my wife had to have a 4-year degree. Really, and that was because I wanted somebody to show my kids how to get a 4-year degree. I had a GED. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? I knew, so that was one of the things I was looking for. I was looking for someone with a 4-year degree. I was looking for someone who was quiet and peaceful. Because like I said, I don't know if you know it. If you get a ride or die chick, you got a ride or die chick for life. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want, that's a lot of noise in your house.
Gotcha. That's right.
That's a whole lot of noise in your household.
That's right.
So my wife, man, without a shadow of a doubt, God used my wife in ways that I would have never thought possible. I ended up going back to college. I ended up getting a corporate job. You know, and right now I'm an area manager with 100 employees. That would have never happened.
So you're still a recruiter.
Listen, I'm a great recruiter. I'm better than Dion.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Look, see my wife.
Oh God!
Look at my wife. You be like, what?
Nah.
Yeah. Ask Pastor.
I don't think he'll answer.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he would.
I think he ended up staying.
No, he wouldn't. No, he would. So yeah, but that's the issue with me. And now that I have my youngest daughter and my son. My son is 14.
I was wondering if you had any boys now.
Now, and see, that's the thing, and that's my new journey is loving my son where my son is, and not wanting my son to be like me.
Oh
That's
man,
it.
that is so hard.
That's a rough journey.
Because they'll never grow up the way you did. And you don't want them to.
And that's true.
You do not want them to.
That is true. But, you know, my son right now is 14, 6'3", 180, size 16 shoe.
Good. Can the ball?
Don't want a ball.
Oh.
Every day of my life was on the court, on the field. You feeling me?
Yeah.
But he don't want it.
Oh, wow. Now, let's go back a little bit because it sounds like there's so much trauma in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
But my trauma poured on them.
Yeah.
Right. So let's start with your trauma because I want to get to your middle daughter. Your middle daughter's trauma too. But with your trauma, it sounds like you recognized it a little early because you were bitter, you had bad feelings or whatever towards your father, or not really? Did it come later?
Man, I had bad feelings toward my father. I had bad feelings toward my mom.
Gotcha.
To be honest, the household just wasn't stable.
Yeah.
There was love, but I think what we minimize is that children need stability.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you bouncing from here to there, and a child doesn't have stability and doesn't feel safe, then that creates trust issues. Mm-hmm. That creates stability in their life to where they think, hey, it's time to move on. It's time to jet. I've been here too long.
Yeah.
You know? Before I met my wife, I would jump from job to job.
Wow.
So
Because that's what you knew.
Yeah, and that's it. So my trauma was not having a dad. My grandfather was born in 1913. I was born in 69. So that age gap there was tremendous. Mm-hmm. But he was a great man. But his thing wasn't school. His thing was work. Because that's how he grew up.
Yeah.
That generation like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Was work. You know, it's the dude on Fences, Denzel character.
Mm-hmm.
100% my grandfather.
Wow.
100% my grandfather.
Now that's some okay. Got you.
100% my grandfather.
Got you.
I give you a roof.
Yeah.
I give you food. Mm. You know what I'm saying? Everything else is up to you. Everything else is supplemental. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, as I looked at that down the road, I had a conversation with my uncle one time when I moved to New York, and I was telling him, you know, just about what my grandfather did and everything like that. And he looked me dead in the eye and said, "You mad at the wrong person." You know what I'm saying? That's your grandfather.
Yeah.
You mad at the wrong person.
Yeah. You're not his responsibility.
There you go. What he did was that was plus.
Yeah, that was a plus.
Where would you be without him?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that. You mad at the wrong person, dude.
Wow.
And that was the truth.
Wow.
So, let me ask you this, because speaking of a grandfather that way, or speaking of learning how to become a man from that generation of a man, right? How do you now be a man to your son when you don't necessarily want to just be, hey, I give you a roof, I give you food, that's it. Now it's a time where people are more emotionally, you know, intelligent when it comes to children and things of that nature. So we don't, not saying that it's bad that we don't have men or that hardness, but you can't be that way all the time now. So how do you adjust to that?
Well, you know what? One of the greatest things that happened with me is God has put some tremendous brothers in my life, man. E, B, C. I got, my father-in-law. He gave me some brothers in my life who were ahead of me. And I was able to look at their marriage, and I was able to look at how they're raising their kids, and it just showed me that there was another way. Now, with the girls, that's one thing. I'm still struggling with the boy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still struggling with the boy. Because I'm hardcore. I mean,
You ain't just gonna walk around crying all the time. You're like, look.
Actually, my thing with him that I learned, you can cry as long as it don't stop you from doing what you need to do. That's my thing with it. If you hurt, cry. But just don't let it stop you doing what you need to do. Don't wallow there. Yeah. Don't lay there.
Get up.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I think a lot of these young men don't know how to do is get up.
Yeah. They get pacified a lot.
They do, or they get to one place and they just vibrate. They don't know what to do. So if they don't know what to do, they stop.
Yeah.
It's the,
Yeah.
I think I got an idea where
I know we're gonna go with that.
It's all right. So let's go back to your middle daughter, like I was telling you earlier. When you said you didn't know for a while, for years.
Yes.
Right? And that relationship was built on tension because I guess she felt like you abandoned her, weren't there. I don't know exactly.
I know she felt like I abandoned her. Then you got to look at that. In the state of North Carolina, I owed back child support. Once they figured out she was mine, I was responsible for the back child support.
And you didn't even know.
You know what I'm saying? North Carolina don't care.
Gosh,
you know what I'm saying? So I came in to our relationship with a little animosity, to be honest with you.
Towards her or just?
Towards her family.
Then it in turn kind of...
Me and her family just did not get along because it was multi-generations in the house, and I was supporting multi-generations. And a couple of uncles would let me know I was supporting. They would, thank you, say stuff like that. And I'm trying
okay. And at that time, it don't sound like that went over well.
No, man, that don't go over well now.
Yeah, that
you know what I'm saying? Good. You know what I'm saying? So, but because her grandmother, who she was being raised by at the time, had like 9 kids.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So they needed that money.
Yeah.
And they took advantage.
Yeah. So
now, speaking of that though, so how did you start addressing that, and how did you start changing it within you to kind of see how you can kind of salvage it, or is it salvageable?
With my middle daughter, we ended up another thing. We ended up getting custody of, tore my house up, and I would tell you that I got custody of her because of love, but the truth was she was at a point in her life where they wanted her to go somewhere else, and I wanted that child support money back. I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
It's real,
That's as real as it
gets.
Yeah. Look, tore my house up, son. Tore it up. Whew. Sweet Jesus. But then, in that little time, because she was older then, in that little time, I was able to put some seeds in the ground. And one thing I said was, life will teach you a lot better than I will if you go out there.
Yeah.
And it did, and she came back. And she came back to me.
Wow. Because
she was like, kind of like how I was to my grandfather. Okay, he tried to help me. You see what I'm saying?
It clicked. At one point, it clicked.
Yeah. Wow. So right now, beautiful. She's married. Both of my older kids are married. She has just had a 6th child. Yeah, same dude. Hold on, sorry. 5th child by the same dude. She came in with one, and he came in with one. But they are a nuclear family. Yeah. It's really cool.
Right. So now, when you talk about your oldest 2 kids,
yes,
right? Mm-hmm. Now, where in that time frame did your wife come into play?
All right, so my wife came into. Oh, you gotta look. Okay, I just celebrated 23 years of marriage. Praise God, and my oldest is 36. So, and then the one under that's 34. So that when they came in, when me and my wife got together, they were always already going into teenagers. But she knew about them. I was honest about it, and she, my wife was a Sunday school teacher, and Crystal, my oldest, went to a couple of classes.
So I do have a question. When it comes to your middle daughter and your oldest daughter, did you ever try to do anything to make sure that they cultivate a relationship?
Yeah, but they don't.
They don't.
They don't.
And it's kind of hard when you meet somebody like that's how I was with my siblings. I didn't meet them till I was 16.
That's one of the failures of my life. That's one because they don't have a relationship. Now, my oldest daughter and my youngest daughter are the same person, look alike, acting like they're the same person. My boy, he don't care. He don't care.
He's different from you.
Yeah, but I would love for my two oldest to have a better relationship. Love it.
Is it that they just like what you think kind of caused that?
In the beginning, there was some jealousy there.
Yep, that usually happens.
But now it's just it's time. And then like I say, my middle daughter's a lot closer to her mother's family than she is to my family. Because, they were there. They were there. Yeah. They were there when she needed it. I wasn't.
How did they take to your wife? Because they were going into the teenage years.
Oh, well, my oldest daughter loved my wife. They both loved my wife, but a point of that was they had no choice because that was ground rule number one. If you disrespect Madonna, you got to go. You disrespect my wife, you got to go.
Gotcha.
That's not going to happen.
No.
So and everybody around me knows that. If you won't, I don't answer my phone. They'll call my wife.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, what's the biggest things that you pour into your youngest kids? Because now it sounds like we got to the point where you're starting to recognize, you're starting to grow, you're starting to learn a lot from the relationship with your wife and finding Christ and all that. Like, so what's those biggest things that you're cognizant of now and you're pouring intentionally into your youngest kids?
One, and it's something that even with my youngest kids, this is something that I had to learn that I probably didn't learn to my youngest daughter was preteen, was that my family were yellers. So I was a yeller. That was my communication style.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
No, sir. Okay. That's why we had to turn your mic down.
People watch enough of this, they'll know. Watch who you had babies with.
So my communication style was a yeller. So what I've tried to do best with my youngest two, actually with everybody in my life, is have a better line of communication and slow to burn, because of my upbringing, man.
You got quick.
Like if you tell me you gonna hurt me, you gonna have to hurt me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna have no conversation about you hurting me.
I don't think
if you said if you told me right now, if you say you gonna slap me, you gonna have to slap me because I'm gonna slap you.
Hold on now. Hold on.
Because that came from I'm telling you,
you was in New York.
You ain't gonna.
City. Yeah.
You ain't gonna tell me you gonna hurt me. We're gonna have a conversation about it. So with that, everything with that, it made me just quick. So I'm slow to burn. I'm a lot chiller. And look at me now. So if I'm a lot chiller and I'm this way now, can you imagine me?
I say the same thing all the time too.
You know what I'm saying?
That little angry joker right here.
Just listen.
We call him the angry Smurf.
But listen,
no one says that. No one says that.
But
don't
anger,
give
man.
ideas. You know he edits this. He gonna put that right underneath.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell him to call you angry Smurf.
Anger, man, is a hidden addiction. You get comfortable being angry, man. You use it to push people away. You use it to keep people there.
Bully, intimidate.
Yeah, you do.
Get your way.
Yeah, that's what your man said. My love language is insults. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you made it up, but yeah, I got that ain't one of the five. But
Listen,
we go with it.
It's like I'm in another book. You ain't seen that book yet.
I ain't gonna look for your book.
You ain't gonna look for your book. So yeah. So
now that's interesting though, because one of the things that I've always got accused of is not really censoring or filtering how I deliver a message, because the message is straight, no chaser at all times. But that usually doesn't work with kids, especially in this generation.
I'm gonna have to disagree with that. I think you can deliver it straight, no chaser with love. I think you can't yell it, or you can't have a belt in your hand when you say it.
I don't yell anyway.
But I think if you say, "Hey, yo, we ain't having this. There's nothing else. We ain't this report card. Nah, we ain't having this. Bring me everything. Bring me phones. Bring me remotes. Bring me games. Bring me everything."
Right.
There's certain things do not warrant a lot of conversation. Certain things is bring me your phone. Bring me your games. Bring me everything. Sit them right there. Don't ask me for.
So you're in the generation, raising kids in the generation now of questions, right?
Questioning me?
Questioning, yeah.
Nah.
Not questioning like, follow me. Questioning, because see, a lot of younger kids now, they have a question to everything that you haven't trying to have a conversation about.
Nah, I'm like Julius on Everybody Loves Chris. You know what I'm saying?
Turn that light off.
Yeah, nah. And I'm gonna be honest with you. It's communication, because I wouldn't work where I work if it weren't for you. If it weren't for you and your mother, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I'm doing what I'm doing right now for you and your mother. When I do this, it's for you and your mother. I don't want anything. I'm good. You know, I have a great life. Very little do I spend on myself. You know, perfect example. Die-hard Steelers fan. Die-hard Steelers fan. Me and my son flew up to Pittsburgh, went to the Steelers regular game, had a ball, man. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm showing him, hey, this is why you want to be able to determine what you do in life. More than some others. You know what I'm saying? We went to Nat. He likes cars. He likes racing games. Mm-hmm. Took him to NASCAR. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm showing you what you can do if you do what you need to do. You're able to do what you want to do, and that's what I'm really. And that's like I said, my youngest daughter, full ride to college. You know. Do what you need to do so you can do what you want to do. You can't do what you want to do before you do what you need to do.
Right.
So there is no real conversation about, and I give a lot of leeway on everything. Go ahead, go play your game. If you done what you need to do, go play your game. Go do whatever you want to do. But it's after you've done what we talked about. It's after you've met the standard that me and your mother has set for you.
I notice that you keep saying me and your mother, because you do it as a team, right?
Yes.
How different is that, doing it this way as opposed to the way you was doing it before?
Man, it's like being thirsty and having water, and being thirsty and not having water. You know what I'm saying? That's as simple as I can broil it down, baby. When you thirsty, it's hot, and you ain't got no water, that's a struggle. You've been working outside, ain't no water, you know what I'm saying? You thirsty. Or somebody brings you when you are thirsty, and someone brings you a cold, sweaty glass of water with ice flowing in it. Yo, that's the difference, man.
What's the biggest thing that she's had to teach you about yourself?
Shut up.
No.
Shut up, dude. Shut up. You ain't always gotta say it. Shut up. And she would never tell me to shut up. She does it, because I was a bully.
Yeah.
And like I said, the fuse is a little slow, but like I said, man, it was, I had to learn how not to fight. And that's a crazy testament, man. The fact that I had to learn how not to fight, man.
Yeah.
So you would react to anything.
Dude,
Like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. I had to learn not to fight, man. That goes back to being comfortable angry. You know what I'm saying? When I say anger is addiction, man. You can get comfortable being angry. You look at some families, man. They're comfortable being angry.
Wow.
I was comfortable being angry. I enjoyed the battle. I enjoyed the fight.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did the anger translate into your parenting until you understood it?
Christ. I can't, man, Christ. Man, just because as I walked down the path, he put so many people in my life, man. I mean, just so many good brothers and good sisters in my life that wouldn't allow me to lie to them, that wouldn't allow me to be dishonest. Hey, come on, man. Come on, man. So that was it. And then it's a slow, and then forgiving myself, forgiving my parents, forgiving everything that went on in my life, and then moving on. And another thing, knowing when not to answer the phone for my mom. Because that's,
Yeah.
she, sometimes I look, not today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If you know it's going to be a fight.
That's, you know what I'm saying?
Just avoid it.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, your story is bugged out. I love it because it's so interesting. But when you go back and think about your upbringing and your growth throughout each step of your journey, who do you credit for eventually teaching you to actually how to be a father?
That would have to be my father-in-law, Will, Bryson, Everett. I mean, that would have to be I ended up being I ended up being a part of a men's group one time. And we met at my house, man. And those are the realest brothers I've met in my life. And that was right when I was starting my journey. And I have lived off that, forever.
Speak on the importance of that, though, because as men, we don't really talk about that, right? We sit up there like, well, what's going on? Nothing. Same old stuff. You know what I mean? How important is that to have that?
You got
that conversation.
If you are a husband, if you are a father, and you are a man, you need to have two people, sane people, more mature than you pouring into your life. You need to have two people on your level pouring into your life, and you need to be pouring into at least one person life.
That tribe thing.
That's it. But you got it, man. And it's honest, and it starts with honesty, man. It does. If you don't have that, your marriage is gonna suffer. Your kids are gonna suffer.
Gotcha.
You have to have that, man. You have to have somebody in your life like that.
So what's been some of the biggest, the most important pieces that you've gotten from them?
They're honest about their failures, man. So I don't have to fail. Now, some of them I repeated. Some of them, my wife ain't gonna be like that. So I was a little harder on my wife than I needed. My wife ain't gonna talk to me like that. So I was a little harder on my wife than I needed to be. But some failures I avoided, some failures I replicated, but just the honesty with it, man. It really is. You can't, man, as a man and as a black man and as a man and a black man raising kids in this society at this time with social media and phones, if you're trying to do it on your own, you're gonna fail. It's no way around it. You cannot do it on your own because your child is gonna get it from somewhere.
Right.
With the phone, with the TV, with social, it's not like they ain't gonna get it. Don't talk to them about sex, okay? You know what I'm saying? It ain't like that. I mean, I had a stash of Playboys under my bed. They got it on the phone now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
TikTok. Listen. I have 30 kids now. If it was 2.
Between TikTok and Instagram?
2. I have 30 kids right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Giving it away like Halloween candy.
When I said the same thing before.
You know what I'm saying?
it's hard to grow up like that if you, as a kid now.
That's what I'm saying. But that's
I would
why.
have been the arm wrestling champion by that time. If I
This
grew
is
up like
what
that.
I'm
That's
saying.
my own
This is what I'm saying.
Oh, God. I don't need no spinach.
You
This is
know what
my
I'm
phone.
saying? You like Papa. The truth is the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. So, all right. I love that piece that you're talking about, pouring into, people under you so you can mentor them.
Mm-hmm.
And then having the accountability and the wisdom of people older, more seasoned, more mature.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's history.
Yeah.
But what was that point along your timeline that you really realized that you was a father?
I think when she poured the cereal in the bowl and said, damn. If for some reason, that showed me my influence. Mm-hmm. And it made me realize I'm not babysitting. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? This is my child. My beautiful little girl just poured cereal in a bowl and it wasn't enough and screamed, damn. That hurt me to my heart, man. So that, along with other things, have just made me more accountable.
Gotcha.
And you spoke on you have grandchildren now.
Nah.
Oh,
2.
Right.
Hold on. D, S, 5 girls, 7, 9. 9.
So you have 9 grandkids.
I have 9 grandkids.
How do they view granddad?
Oh,
different.
I'm hero.
I'm
hero.
Dad.
Listen, my middle daughter, me and my middle daughter, we do lunch. We try to do lunch 3 times a month without the kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And she sits there and she tells me story how she tells her kids, "That ain't the same dude." That ain't the same dude.
At all.
I'm not. I am not the same dude. My grandkids though, them are peoples. I can't do no wrong, man.
That is funny.
I can't do no wrong, man. And they reign because my oldest grandkid is 6 months older than my son. So I actually have a grandkid that's older than my son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you got a when you got a gap. Uncle or something like that.
Yeah.
When your uncle's younger than you.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so.
Yeah.
So yeah, them are peoples.
So have you ever felt like that there was some resentment because of that? Because you've changed so much?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, from both of them. I told you my oldest daughter has she has a counseling business and she's online and she does seminars and a lot. Yeah, she used me a lot. Matter of fact, I told her she gonna start paying me.
I was about to say, she
put
over that way.
She put something online the other day that peed me off. I ain't gonna lie to you. It peed me off. Like, no, you start running this stuff by me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
I can't talk.
But you know what? They should. Mm-hmm. They should have resentment. I want nothing. I mean, nothing, son. So
Do you feel like you're a little hard on yourself, though?
That's the truth. I mean, if you back then, I will always have an issue with how I interacted with my 2 older kids when they needed me. That's gonna be really hard. I've forgiven myself, but that's hard for me. That is extremely hard.
Have they forgiven you?
For the most part, yeah. I don't know if you ever can, but for the most part, yeah.
Right, because you can't.
Enough now. I mean, me and my sons-in-law, we cool. I mean, we straight cool.
So, what is going to be the biggest thing that you do for your grandkids to kind of make up for what you did?
Well, I ain't doing nothing for them. I'll give them gifts on Christmas and birthdays, but them ain't mine, baby.
So you learned from your grandfather that
they ain't mine.
Fun,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, son, no, I ain't putting no money away from them. I ain't investing now, son. That's your people's. I'm gonna live my life a little bit. You know, I ain't one of them. No. I ain't one of them. No. Listen, hear me now, believe me later.
Oh God!
Don't be looking for no college fund.
Oh God! That's
Once
funny.
I get this 14-year-old at my house, I'm butt naked on the beach somewhere, dude. It's over.
Don't nobody want to know that.
It's over. It's over. I mean, because I had kids at 14, I have been working.
Yeah.
Since I was 14.
You've been parenting since you was 14 years old.
You see what I'm saying? I have been in a grind in one form or another because now I can't blame nobody but myself.
Yeah, I got you.
You see what I'm saying? But I'm not grinding for them grandkids.
Do you feel like you missed out on childhood?
Oh God, no. Well, depends on what you call childhood. You talking about playing with?
No, I'm just talking
G.I.
about
Joe stuff.
Your youth, because you had a child at 14.
Yeah.
I think that's. I'm not. Is that what you
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
No, man.
Or you feel you had to grow up super fast?
I had some partners though, because a lot of my partners had kids early too.
about. Y'all was just running in the circle.
Man, we was, dude, hear me now, believe me later. So, nah, man, I had some great dudes growing up, man.
Okay, so you had,
And the sad part about it, I've lost 4 this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've lost 4 of them this year.
So, we usually ask this question, but your story is so unique. Whether it's having kids early,
It ain't as unique as you think.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying?
it's unique in the sense that
You're speaking about it.
not only you speaking about it, but it's a redemptive quality that you're talking about in your story, because you basically have a distinct difference between your oldest 2 and your youngest 2, married and unmarried, young and older.
Yes.
You know, in any periods in your life when you had them.
Broken money. Don't forget that one. Don't. That means a lot.
It does.
Yeah, and so when you
Trevor ain't never pulled cereal out and Bowden's head. It's always another box.
Hold on, I did have.
It's always another box.
Was it at least milk?
Yeah, it was milk. Man,
Oh,
no cereal.
okay.
But it's always another box in the cupboard now.
So going to that and thinking about that journey, what is some of the things that you, other than your communication, you was talking about slow to burn? Was that something that was instant? Or is that something that you're still working on?
Nah, man, I'm still working on that. And again, I gotta say that my wife, having a wife, just having a wife that I want to be better for.
I got you.
You said I want to be a better man, not just for myself. I want to be a better man for my wife. I want to be a better man for my kids. Mm-hmm. So when you want to be a better man, when you fail at being the man that you want to be, you got to take stock in that, and you got to move on, and you got to look at it. So that's what I've done.
Got you.
I want to be a better man. Like I said, like if you ask me, man, I don't want my grandkids to go through what their parents had to go through, and what their grandparents had to go through.
So I do have a question for you, and I know the times are totally different now, right? But what advice would you give to a young father if they come to you and let's say it's, because I mean, I could have been that father that had a kid in high school, you know what I mean? But it's just circumstances didn't happen that way. But if I'm that way right now and I'm about to have a child and I'm young, what advice would you give me? Because I'm still a child myself.
Accountability. I mean, you're going to have to grow up. I mean, it ain't no excuses, no whining. You're just going to have to grow up, man. You hate to be so cold in that sense, but that child, it ain't about you anymore.
Right.
It's about that child. So then from that point on, you need to plan your life in such a way that it benefits not only you, but that child. It can't be just about you anymore. And that goes with the women you date. That goes to the brothers you hang out with. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? You have to start developing an atmosphere around yourself that would nurture that child.
Wow. So, I'm going to get you out of here on this. After your time of laying butt naked on the beach, and they lay you to rest butt naked in the coffin.
Upside down.
However you decide to tell them to do it, that's on you. But what do you want your legacy as a father to be?
One, that I gave them a spiritual foundation. Two, that I showed them the importance of the tool of money. But I would say most important, I would like them to stand up during my eulogy and say, if I ever needed that brother, he was there. There was not a time that I needed that brother that he did not come through.
Wow.
Because that goes back to that stability thing. So,
and he wasn't angry.
Yeah, slow burn. He was still yelling. So, yeah.
But well, we really appreciate you sitting down with us. And even though AJ called you old to set the
come on, man. Salt and light, baby.
But your story is going to help somebody.
I appreciate it.
And for you to take the time and share it, we appreciate you.
I appreciate it, baby.
Thank you for watching another episode of Just My Baby Daddy podcast. I know you liked what you saw. So what I need for you to do is go back and look at past episodes. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share our YouTube page, Just My Baby Daddy Podcast. And you can follow us on all social media at Just My Baby Daddy Pod.